The driver's seat is presented by Ray Reese Volkswagen and Portland's Hyundai, Portland's #1 VW dealer and Portland's newest Hyundai dealer. Now let's climb into the driver's seat on Miles Around Television.
In our driver's seat is the 2008 Volvo C30. This car was one of the final designs by Peter Horbury before he left Volvo and headed over to Ford North America. It shares the same platform as the V50, the S40 and the Ford Focus. Now this car was first seen in 2001 in this shape and it was called the Volvo C30. It wasn't until 2006 at the Paris Auto Show that we actually saw the C30 for the first time.
Well, it may have just debuted as far as the auto shows are concerned, but this classic shape from Volvo's been around for a long time. Doesn't anyone remember the P1800? I love this car. I love the basic shape and the usability of the entire package. We're going to take a look inside. We're going to make sure and pay special attention to all the safety involved. But first, let's take a look under the hood.
Underneath the hood of the 2008 Volvo C30, you'll find an inline-5 engine with a turbo, and for this size of car, it means you get the power you need when you need it.
As we run down some of the numbers now that we do have the hood open, let's go over what Nick just said. It is a 5-cylinder running a turbocharger. It's 0 to 60 in about 7.5 seconds, and it's 218 horsepower and 236 pounds-feet of torque. That runs into a standard 6-speed manual transmission if you want to shift for yourself, or my pick for this car if I was going to buy the 5-speed automatic with paddle shifters. Now, Volvo's done a great job of being able to blur the lines between a sports car ride and great grand touring ride on the freeway. I think that has great turn-in, great brakes. It feels solid on the road. When you're driving down a curvy road, it feels like it wants to follow itself. It doesn't feel out of its element if you want to drive a little harder than maybe the normal buyer would. The other side is that it has a great freeway ride. A little bit of road noise, in my estimation, more than it might need, but overall the package is solid and the drive is great. One quick note before we move on to exterior styling. I'd like to make the note that even though the suspension is multi-link in the rear, McPherson strut in the front, and great ABS brakes, synonymous with safety in the word Volvo, but the fact that the C30 T5 actually comes standard with Pirelli P0 tires, high dollar item on a mid-level price car.
The 2008 Volvo C30 is outstanding in many ways, but the most outstanding thing about this car is its footprint and its design. On the exterior, you could put this car into a silhouette and know exactly what it was. It reminds me at the back end of the Lancia Beta HPE. This straight back end with a large headlights really makes it look different from anything else that's out there. Volvo have done a very good job of making sure the wheel wells look sporty and large, making sure the body is wide and very usable, and also making sure that this car lets people know that you have style, panache, and that you're coming.
Well, when it comes to style in the front, I think it's an absolute 5-star event. I love the iPod-inspired kind of vanilla and chocolate look of the front end, and I love the projection headlamps. Gives it a nice snarled look. They've kind of given it an eyebrow here. And, of course, you have that classic Volvo look in the front, of course, with the cross and the emblem. Now, it is always about style in this segment, but you know what? When you look at this car and you see the style and the safety that's designed even into the front end, you know it's a Volvo front to back.
The interior of Volvo's is very unique and very significant if you like the Swedish minimalistic look. They of course have the very thin HVAC and stereo control area, which has no back to it, and I love to put my hand behind there and actually remind myself that they've done such a great job at engineering it. But something else notable from the driver's position is actually the seats. The seats are different and more sporty than you'd expect in a regular Volvo, with the stripe down the middle of them and also the comfort-fitting form shape of the seat. It's actually quite pleasant to drive this vehicle.
Well, when it comes to the passenger side of the vehicle, the first thing, and this is a new thing for me I'm going to keep doing, is I look at the owner's manual. I don't need a scholarship to do this. One simple book tell you everything you need to know. But it's about comfort. I have to say that the back seat is cramped, and I think that might come out in Nick's ups and downs. But for me, I think it's about the two front passengers. You know, this is going to be a car modeled after that 30 no kids kind of couple. They're active, they want to go out and do things, but they don't need a sedan or a big SUV. I think that the overall design concept of the interior is fresh. Yeah, it's a little IKEA-ish. It's kind of Spartan as far as there's no goodies or fancy bells or whistles, but it has everything you need and it has everything you want.
This is the part of the show when we tell you about our 2 ups and 1 down. We're taking a look at the 2008 Volvo C30, and my first up has got to be the exterior styling. European in nature, this car looks really nice. There's things on this car that are outstanding. First of all, you have your indicator lights here on the side mirrors, the valance, which is a chocolate color, the actual shape of the vehicle, outstanding. My second up for this vehicle is the drive. The drive is really exquisite for the interior of this car. You don't feel much bouncing. You actually go where you want to go. It's very responsive. Road noise has been a negative we've heard from some of the people that have been inside the vehicle, but I don't think for the price and for the size of the vehicle, it outweighs what the vehicle is overall. My down for this vehicle, and the down is something that's nitpicky, as I always give you something nitpicky, is the fact that there's very little room in the back seat. I'm finding that this car should have a little more back seat room. They could have taken some trunk space away and given you a little more legroom. Now, at 5'4", I don't need a lot of legroom, but I find that this car doesn't actually deliver much for me at all.
Well, not everything I'm going to say is going to resonate what Nick said. I will say this, I love the styling. My first up, it looks like an old P1800. The fastest car in my high school graduating year was a P1800 with a small block Ford under it. Now, this doesn't have a small block Ford, but it has that same great style. Now, when it comes to my other up, it's going to be the interior. I love that slab of aluminum that houses the HVAC and stereo controls. And if you get the Dolby Logic True system, which is optional, you get great sound clarity and great booming bass from the back seat. My down is going to be this. It is a smaller car, so I will pinpoint it. It's the road noise. It's a little intrusive, and hey, a little Dynamat, a little undercarriage spray, and boom, it's gone. Overall, the car is great. That's our review right here at Miles Around Television for the 2008 Volvo C30 T5. The 2008 Volvo C30 version 2.0 T5 comes standard with a 2.5-liter 5-cylinder turbocharged engine and a 6-speed manual transmission. The manufacturer's suggested retail price is $25,700 with an as-tested price of $27,950. City mile per gallon EPA rating is 19. Highway mile per gallon EPA rating is 28.
The driver's seat is brought to you by Ray Reese Volkswagen. Family owned and specializing in Volkswagens for over 15 years. And proudly presenting the all-new Portland Hyundai. Check them out at rayreese.com. Miles Around Television is broadcasting each week from Gresham Toyota Studios. Walk in, grab your just-looking badge, and relax. Then check out hundreds of new, used, and certified Toyotas worry-free. Gresham Toyota, where just looking is no problem.